Hey everyone, this is Kay. You're on my channel, The Collective Soul Tarot. Welcome. Thank you for being with me again today. We're going to do a general reading for the collective using these decks, the Tarot to Clarify and Cyril Marchetti's decks to start it off with. So we're going to do past, present day, just moving my rocks, and near future spread. Okay, and I just want to remind you guys too that if there's any interest in a private, personal private reading for yourself, or you could tell somebody you think might want one, the link to my website for that particular tarot card reading, private tarot card reading page is in the description. It's at the very top of the description box for your convenience. Okay. And I just want to ask Archangel Michael and the Holy Spirit, calling upon you to guide and assist me today with correctly interpreting the energies in the cards and to help me see clearly. Thank you so much. Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today in this general read for the last day of the month, November 30th, 2023. November 30th, it's Thursday. Wow, it's crazy. Yeah, it's Thursday and it's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. It's a pretty one. I like that one. Okay, guys, if you're ready, let's go. I always am intrigued what Archangel Michael wants to talk about today for us. Okay, so past energy. Someone's been thinking about you, or you've been thinking about somebody. Okay? This is the one card in both of these decks that talks about actual people's thoughts. Okay? Thoughts. So this person here is trying to think about the perfect image of a woman that he, perfect image or the perfect representation as someone that they, they would like to have in their life, right? A relationship with. Present day is occupation. I remember that one was, where was that one yesterday? I don't remember. Okay, near future, expectation. Nobody ever likes to see this card because you're being asked to be patient and wait a little longer. She is waiting. She definitely is waiting. She's looking out the window, hoping to see a sign that you're coming soon. Okay, so let's clarify. I think that occupation card was here last time with the star card. That's right. And the main male was at the top there. Okay. Archangel Michael, my Holy Spirit, thank you for getting us started. Let's talk about thoughts. I mean, this is about doing work that you enjoy, okay? About doing work you enjoy. It's not the type of work that that you have to do. It's essential that it gets done. Okay, and expectation, already talked about that. So this could be a hobby, or it could just mean that you like your job. You really do like your job. And if I didn't get any more cards, what I would see is he's thinking about his perfect person. Somebody that's on his mind, basically. He's trying to figure out how he can be with her. And like if he's got to move to relocate, how he can do what he wants to do and still enjoy his job and earn an income, right? But he's being told to just be a little bit patient for a little while longer in the near future, because something is cooking up. The divine's cooking something up on your behalf. Whether or not you believe in the divine doesn't mean it's not cooking things up for you in the background. You can think that it just happens by coincidence, but I wouldn't recommend it. But anyways, here we go. Thoughts. Wisdom messages. This is the second message card. The first one is the little red cardinals are in the little red birdhouse, which is more of a frivolous type of message where it can come by email, text message, voicemail, phone call, whichever. The wisdom card comes by more like it's more formal, but it's like it's less frivolous, but it's also about wisdom. So whatever messages you'll be receiving, it's either coming through your time of introspection, you know, where you're receiving hits from the divine, or you know, your past over loved ones are talking to you and sending you inspiration and messages about how to proceed, or you know, just how everything is good just the way it is, or everything's good going forward. It could also mean you get messages from somebody that you see as someone who's is very wise, you know, they provide great advice, that kind of thing. Okay, and I want to pull this card. So we got the end of something. The sarcophagus, that came out yesterday. No, that didn't come out yesterday. That came out in one of my other readings. Okay, never mind. Okay, so something's come to an end in the past because you have received information, a message that made you think. You know, really, huh? Okay, occupation, present day. The clouds, and it's reverse, but it's not reverse. These cards are not, it doesn't say anywhere in the booklet that you should use these as reverse. So, great luck, happiness. You know, discovering great luck and happiness. The clarity is what you need, though. And once you do, everything will be, you know, this is what's going on before this happens, right? The clouds come and they get burnt off by the sun, and then all is revealed, and this is what's being revealed, you see? Great luck and happiness. Discovering it through your work, possibly, or through some kind of hobby. Okay, that's present day. Now let's talk about near future. Okay. For expectation, we have stability and security right here. And bridges. So overcoming obstacles that keep you from getting from where you are to where you want to be. So this is what you're being asked to be patient about. That all is going to work out in divine timing and good timing, right? That you'll find the stability and security that you might have left behind when leaving in another relationship, or just left something behind, and you'll find it here in the near future, that you'll be able to overcome obstacles in order for you to regain that stability, or to gain it for the first time, you know, in a long time. Okay, so that's it for Cyril Marchetti decks. And let's start clarifying. Yeah. So let's see how all three of these marry with each other to create a story. Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, thank you so much. Can you please provide for us, the collective, what you mean by thoughts in the past? Temperance, being balanced, healing, being balanced and healing, feeling harmonious because you had been spending some time in upside down reflection. That's getting a new perspective, right? By the divine, because you always receive an awakening when you have a new perspective. Seven of Coins, looking at the past, assessing things, nostalgically remembering how things were and how things were good then, but you only were able to harvest so much, right? Harvesting. You want to harvest more. You want to sow different seeds now, or just seeds that have better life force in them, you know, so that your tree becomes the tree that it grows on, all your fruits, it becomes just so full, even over full kind of thing, where you feel totally abundant and prosperous. And it could be in love as well. But looking at the past, if this person was in your past but not currently, you're thinking about how you could have done things differently. And that's the reason why you are looking back at your past to see what it is that you've already harvested. And although it's okay, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's like 7 coins, just 7 coins. 7 coins out of that ginormous amount of 10 pentacles, right? You know that if you're thinking that maybe, see, that perhaps if you had been with this one, this would be 10 of coins, not 7 of coins. Okay, 7 of pentacles, 10 of pentacles. Last card is the 10 of wands. And see, that kind of regret, I guess, is put a lot of burden on you because of the choices you made in the past, right? Okay, so but somehow thinking about this one after what you've been through, something's ended. Excuse me. And what you've been through, you have been able to heal and find some kind of peace and serenity, or some calmness, at least some kind of balance, where you're feeling a little bit better emotionally than you had been before. But it was only because you gained a new perspective and were able to take action after that point of time, after having been enlightened by what it is you needed to know, needed to see how things were being done and how things could be different. Yeah, basically looking at the error of your ways. And that was giving you a chance to be reflective and look to the past. But at the same time, which is good, you can see how it overburdened you. But 10 is the end. So it was a very burdensome life for you. Health-wise, it might not have been so good, but mentally, emotionally, and just feeling, getting into a more prosperous and abundant type of loving energy, you needed to have the burdens so that you could say, I can't take it anymore. Like, what do I need to do? And that opened the door to listening to the divine, right? Through this hangman energy. So you got some hits of inspiration, some wisdom, and you're able to lay something down. Lay something down for good. It could be your own behaviors that you laid down. It could be a relationship that was toxic with a karmic that you laid down, put an end to. It could be both. Excuse me. So let's find out. What's the bird card, please? 8 of Swords. There's a great distress there, caught up in your head. A need for putting those thoughts down so that you could find some respite time and heal. So that you could stand up gallantly and victoriously, grabbing the sword, because this is 3 swords is about heartbreak, and then the 4th sword is down here, where you can pick it up and walk victoriously forward, having laid things down. Excuse me. Queen of Swords. And the 7 of Cups. Wow. So to me, I don't want to say for sure, but I would say that the Queen of Swords is the one that you left behind, because she had other options, apparently. She had other options. And she would be the Queen of Swords in the reverse, so she'd be quite harsh and pessimistic, but, gossipy and just scatterbrain, and it's her way or the highway kind of thing. Cutting you down to size at every opportunity she had. Making you feel, in your 8 of Swords, rumination of these thoughts that go round and round and round about doom and gloom, and she's the drama queen, and yeah, it's just you feeling stuck, Hangman, not knowing if you're going to be able to get yourself out of this, or if you can, when, how soon, the why, how, and the when, right? Of what? Psychologgy. That's right. So let's talk about the sarcophagus, that coffin. Psychologgy. Ten of Swords. Look what your Queen of Swords did. Nine of Cups, being overindulgent. Page of Wands, you found out. And you found out that she was giving her cup to somebody else. Yeah, that's what, okay, so that was the ending of your, you know, if you weren't clear about something, that's the ending of that. You said, okay, you were able to gain some new perspectives through gaining some truth. Something was revealed to you, and it was about the fact that your Queen of Swords here was, and this could be like she was sleeping around too, but that I see as your time to rest. You're very busy and anxious, anxiety, you know, and depression from what currently was happening in your life. She made you feel like an option, right? That she had other options, and that was the one that she betrayed you with, at least one of them, that she was being overindulgent with, self-indulgent, taking things in excess. You found out about it, possibly you seen something or heard something through either gossip or a friend or a co-worker, or somebody told you, or you literally just saw it yourself. You know, and this is, she was giving her cup of love to somebody else instead of you. That's not a very nice past experience, I have to say. And I feel bad for you, but at the same time, if your heart is not meant to be with that karmic lover, which it's not, when it's karmic, yes, while you're karmic yourself, because you've got lessons to learn, that's what karma is all about. So life presents these lessons to us, and if we learn from them, then we've what would you call we've removed it, we've balanced the karma, so that that it's done. That particular lesson is done with. You've learned, you've grown spiritually and personally. You likely will develop from it too, like personality wise. Excuse me, water. It just means that personality wise, it just means that you become from the inside out, your personality starts reflecting what it is, the wisdom that you're learning yourself through your harsh lessons. And so you and her were, equally yoked back then, as I talk about the lower vibe of karma. Because dharma is a higher vibe, but we usually call it karma. Even when you get the good kind of stuff, instead of calling it dharma, we call it karma. Karmic wheel is turning in your favor now, that kind of thing. But yeah, so back then it was good for you. There was a need for it, and it helped you grow. And it's going to make you even that much more prosperous and abundant in your life, in every area, every department of your life, personally, like individually, in a relationships, whether it's friendships, intimate or whatever, co-worker relationships, in your work and career, and in your health. Every department, you're going to become more prosperous and abundant because you're raising your vibration. And the only reason why you're raising vibration is because you become wiser. And the only reason why you became, see the wise, the I keep saying para, psychologgy. The only reason why, there's that why, is because you had a karmic. You were with a karmic because why? Your vibrations were matching each other. You could not, you could meet somebody of a higher vibe than yourself, but it wouldn't last long. It couldn't, because the two of you just not seeing you don't see eye to eye, you know. This one's looking at the higher vibe things in life and how to operate in it, and you would be looking at the lower vibe things in life and how to operate from that perspective. So the newer perspective is about the higher vibe. It's the wisdom that you gain through being very very present in your relationship with what was going on and how you were being treated by your spouse, and maybe how you responded to it or reacted to it that was in a way that you might have said, I sure should have did that differently, I wish I hadn't said that kind of thing. That means you're growing. You know, you're starting to feel compassionate, caring, and sensitive. But her task, and of course your task, was to be that way for her if she was on the path to growing. But if she doesn't seem like she's changing much, then it means it's your path. Even though she's not changing, you're still growing because of what she's doing. So she's not conscious of it, but her one task is to be with a karmic in a relationship so that both of you could grow. And if she decides not to, then that's her prerogative. But if you decided not to, that would be your prerogative too. So the two of you could go, and I wouldn't even say you were happily, merrily moving along in life, being karmic with each other. I wouldn't say that. I would say you'd be quite miserable with each other, but you wouldn't do anything about it. You would think that that's just the way it is. That's the way married couples are. That's the way long-term couples live. We all fight. We all this. We all that. You know, and the emotional stuff about being manipulative and not being emotionally available. It's like, if you don't know any different because you were born and raised in a family life that was very much like that, how could you look at that and say, I'm going to gauge this against what I know, and what I have is a higher type of a higher gauge to compare this to, right? And then you'd say, no, this is not right. This is not the way it's supposed to be. But if you're still in that kind of resonance because of your own past, childhood life, and you still have a lot of childhood wounds in you deep within your subconscious mind that you haven't taken the time to heal, so that you can operate from an adult level in your adult relationships in your adult life, instead of operating from those childhood coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, if that helps, defensive mechanisms. Then it's probably quite likely that that you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't take much notice of your partner's underdeveloped emotions too. That emotional intelligence is not there. Okay, just put it this way. I need a drink before I move on. Just put it this way. Children, and if you'll notice, really only have very limited emotional layers. Like, there's just not a lot of variance in their emotions, like subtle variances like adults can have. And you might hear that someone says that person's really emotionally immature. That would be the child, because the child has like happy, sad, or mad or angry, right? And there's really not much going on between those two with child. Like, you wouldn't see a child often appearing as though they're frustrated or they're dissatisfied. It's just like they're mad or they're sad. You wouldn't see them being like being more like joyful and moderately excited, controlled. it would be like they're just happy jumping up and down. Yee, I'm so happy, let's do this now. You know, the impulsiveness, and they're just so excited. It's bubbling out of them because they have a very small range of emotions. Because you know, they're children, they don't understand that there's different layers, and that layer of emotions. There's that emotional chart I always talk to you about, that's in the community tab, that tells you of those different layers of emotions that you could become more familiar with, that there's the different levels. And the lower vibe ones are like anger and, well, grief, and then anger is even a little higher vibe than grief is. And there's reasons for that, but which I won't get into, but definitely have a look at that emotional chart I put up in the community tab in my on this channel. So now that we have a good grasp of what this is all about, you've had some challenging experiences with somebody who betrayed you. They were indulgent and had an affair on you, stepped out of your long-term or your marriage with them, and you've been trying to heal since then. And as far as putting it down, you put it down that you're not going to be available to her, but this doesn't say really much about you actually getting divorced if you're married. Now, if you're long-term commitment and not married, then it's very possible you just, you vacated the scene, or she did, and you both went on your separate ways. But as far as getting divorced, it doesn't talk about that here. Occupation now is the 5 of coins, 6 of coins. Geez, these cards were the same as, my goodness, yesterday. Look at you, King of Coins. The 5 of Cups. And there's the Tower card, by the way, that came down over here. But these would be now occupation. You may be feeling left out in the cold by somebody that you want to strike up a relationship with, that you know from the past that you've been thinking about ever since this debacle over here. But I'm going to swing this more positively. I just got sinus issues these days. I don't know why, but just please forgive me for all my noises. But this is being out of the woods. You're out of the woods from here. You're looking ahead. You have positive changes. You're rebuilding your life, recovering, and it's a turning point for you. And the 6 of coins is the same. Like, this is now giving and receiving, that you want to give to this one here. Possibly you took from them in the past and never really gave back to them, especially if you weren't in a committed relationship with them. But you've grown, like I said, you've grown. You have raised your vibration now. You're more mature. You're more in touch with your the need of being able to take care of yourself and take care of life, and you know how to navigate through the material world. You're quite a hard worker, and you do know how to make money. And you're probably you're going further and further ahead to make money, okay? Because of all this, like I said, you raise your vibration. I'm learning from your lessons over here, the why and the how. Why? Because you were at a karmic energy level, matched another karmic person. The how is that she was to be what she needed to be, so that it would offer you the opportunity to look within yourself, to look and see how she might be looking like you would behave, and that you've seen that you don't like it. You don't like how she's behaving, like she's betraying you and stuff like that. Maybe you did too to this one here. So you have the opportunity, the how, to be able to see what it was that needed to change. The why and the how now. Now that you know the why and the how here, should be really why, how, when, why, how, why and the how this happened to you, okay? Now, the next how question would be, how do I get out of this? And that's where the divine steps in, because you asked whether you did it verbally, when you're talking to a friend, or, you know, complaining about what's going on, or you did it, your heart was just crying out for that, right? It would have been crying out for that. Perhaps you actually verbally asked too, but you matured. And that's the how. You mature, you level yourself up, and then the when will come. This is expectation, when, right? So this is overcoming despair. You becoming forgiving. You're accepting the fact that things had to change. You're ready to move on. You're healing, right here. Healing and letting go. Okay, and letting go would be when you're finally healed, you're actually going to be able to let go of hanging upside down, and you'll have gained a new perspective, so that when you're standing on your feet, you actually are now operating in your world from a different way of thinking. Can you imagine, right? A different way of thinking than what you had been before. That's really growing. That's growing up. So that's becoming an adult. You're no longer only operating from what you've learned how to defend yourself when you were a child. Your emotional layers have become more apparent to you, and you become more emotionally matured and emotionally available. So let's talk about the clouds card now. This is what's going on right now, remember, clouds. Six of Swords, moving from rough weather to nice weather. Emotions, from rough emotional experiences to the more calmer, peaceful, temperate type of sea churning emotions, right? Okay, those want to come out, so I'll let them. Death. Well, death came out reversed. Okay, so there's been an internal change. You've cleared yourself and you purged things. You've transformed. Oh my gosh, you're emerging and metamorphosing. You're rebirthing. You're regenerating through what you've been through. There, you know, right. And then, oh wow, you have been in touch with your inner self, your God. You've maybe even gone to a higher, maybe into your own pastor, priest, or minister, or rabbi, whichever, to seek advice, because you were in so much pain at the time here. But this is telling you, by opening up to your inside, letting yourself hear your heart through your pain and your sorrow, hearing your heart, listening to the still small voice inside each one of us, our intuition and whatnot. That's the God within us. That's in our heart, that's been crying out to make changes here. You might have been sitting on the fence for a very long time, just thinking that it was all just, that's just the way married life is when you're with somebody. They're just going to do this, that, and everything else. And I'm going to react this way and that way and every way else too. That's pretty much in line with what they're doing. So like neither of us are innocent, you know, or pure. So therefore, you know, this is just the way it's supposed to be. So what if I'm miserable? So what if she's miserable? She's reaching out to somebody else to connect with, and maybe I should too. Maybe we should just make it that type of marriage, you know, an open marriage where we can be with other people but stay with each other. Maybe we could do that. And I mean, that'll work. That'll work. That's sitting on the fence, and that's not listening to your heart crying out for you. The reason why you're miserable is because your heart has been crying and you're not listening. You're not using your mind to listen to it. You weren't. She's miserable, same reason. Now whether or not she's going to listen to her heart or not, it's hard to say. Not our purview in this particular reading, okay? So yep, you have been listening to your heart, and now your karma is paid off. Hallelujah! Ha! Here comes the abundance and the prosperity. Your wheel is now turning in your favor. There's somebody that you see as you have a path of destiny that you're moving towards that makes you feel very happy and very lucky. Yep, talking about luck. Let's talk about the 4-leaf clover. Very happy and very lucky. Good on you. Three of Swords. So you're feeling lucky that you're heartbroken. Yeah. King of Swords. Judgment and the Queen of Wands. Well, there she is. Isn't that funny? There's the waning moon. This is you gaining wisdom, which is more wisdom so that you can really be ready and prepared. So just keep listening for the sun. And that might sound funny, but keep listening for the sun, which is God, right? Which is God within us. Keep listening for the sun speak to you and warm your heart even more. Because it looks like, and there's the Fool card after that, right? It looks like you have, you've been in some deep emotional pain, as I just said, with the grief and the disillusionment. You're not like, why did this all happen? How did this all happen? You've been depressed, possibly heartbroken, of course, misunderstood, and tears and loss. But when it's in reverse, it's overcoming. So I'm turning it so I could see the gold words here. Overcoming sorrow, reconciliation with somebody, letting go, healing, release, forgiveness, feeling hopeful and optimistic, and recovery. Yes. So your work here as a King of Coins was something that you knew needed to be done, but at the same time, it was making you feel better and better by doing, like you can see this like as the Eight of Pentacles, which is quite often you can talk about it as making an effort, not just working, but work is making an effort. I just had a drink. So you're making an effort to find clarity so that you can feel happy and lucky going forward when it's time. But yeah, you had cut this. You realized that you're also brokenhearted due to the fact that you had your Queen of Wands in the past. So she was the other woman. This one right here, that you made a judgment against. Possibly you said she's just not, well, if she was higher vibe, you would say that, right? If she was higher vibe, you wouldn't see her the way you would need, your heart would need to see her. Okay? Does that make sense? You just, like you have these rose-colored glasses on of a certain thing, a certain type of person in your life that's going to help you grow your money, basically. And what it boils down to, help you to be materially abundant and living life off the land, and that kind of thinking where it's all about the material world, about the 3D, not really listening to your heart, which is in 5D and higher, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. 4th D is say for space, it's the space between matter and spirit. Okay, so we don't really talk about 4th D because it's so close to 3D. It's like the two have to be like this. So we talk about 5D because that's outside of that realm of the physical matter. So 3D, 5D. If she was at 5D and you were at the 3D, you wouldn't be able to see her clearly. Okay, you just wouldn't be able to see her clearly. You would have, you'd have experiences with her as you integrate, not integrate, but engage with each other, right? In whatever ways you were doing that, right? But as far as you being able to see her value and her worth, you couldn't because you weren't there. You were here at this value and level of worth, okay? Which was from that childish, wounded childhood type of defenses, having to have defenses. So you weren't looking at your world the way she could look at her world, okay? It just, you two could come together, but it would not, even if you tried to commit to her, she tried to commit to you, it wouldn't last. Because you two were just not on the same page at that time. But guess what? She's a queen and you're a king. You're on the same page now. You have taken those rose-colored tinted glasses off and now you can see her quite clearly. and you have that change in perspective, right, from the harshness that went on in your in your married life or whatever it was. You have a new perspective, which is closer to, if not the same as her perspective. So now you're looking upon your world the same. You're looking out on your world very much the same. What's the world for, right? What is the world for? What's it meant? What's it all about? That's the kind of questions you'll be, whether silently or talking about it with each other when you get together. Yep, it's all good. But you had, you know, you were harsh and very blunt with her back in the day. You made that decision to cut her right out, right? You made that decision to cut her right out. But because of doing that, you had karma, but you paid it off because you went through the pain and the sorrow and realized that maybe perhaps she felt like that too when you did what you did back then. Like, hallelujah, that's awareness, that's growing. This King of Swords could mean too that you made the final decision, if you were married, you put that to rest. You're putting it to rest right now. And this is like, you have been gaining wisdom from all of this whole I say debacle, but it's a whole life experience that you had when you were at a lower vibe, but you were becoming more and more aware. Maybe not by every day, but week or month or whatever, but definitely by every year you were seeing how you just weren't seeing the same things as your wife was seeing. You weren't on the same page. She was behaving in ways that she's always behaved. You know, ever since you knew her, ever since you met her, I mean, she's still behaving like that, but you're not. Something is different in you. Maybe you know, if you had kids together, maybe you just like became so much more of a homebody and just focused on the kids, making sure that if mom isn't going to really be available, especially emotionally available, my kid should have some kind of emotional stability. So guess what? Maybe because of your kids, but it would be more than just that. It really would, her behaviors showing you how it's not pleasant. And you're seeing how she's trying to manipulate and deceive and to lie, and she's trying to behave in ways that it's all about her. She's selfish. It's her way or the highway. She wants what she wants, and who cares what you want? So your particular, because this is talking to the collective, so your particular spouse might not be as harsh as that, or maybe even harsher. It's all relative. Okay, so let's talk about the near future. Expectation. Let's move my beautiful amethyst. Let's move it. Now, 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords. Sabotaging. King of Cups. Knight of Wands. Ooh. Strength. And we have the 8 of Cups. And then there's the 5 of Wands. Okay. Let's see, guys. I just heard Archangel Michael say, pull them all out first. Then you'll get a much better bird's eye view, right? Of how to interpret these cards. I mean, I can right now say what I think. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can tweak that. That's having a different perspective, right? Standing on my head right now. Okay, the anchor, please, Archangel Michael. Knight of Cups. Winter solstice, finding the light. A year or more, tie up loose ends. Okay, that could be tying up loose ends. Validating your feelings for the one that you want to be towards. And maybe taking some time to hibernate. Right now, right? And what else? The moon. Well, here's more subconscious, but this is about your intuition had been blocked and you were very fearful. This is mental clarity now. Releasing the fear and anxiety. Hearing and trusting your intuition. Things are unveiled. And 9 of Coins, being single. Very interesting. Oh yeah, and keep going. Okay. The Bridges card, please. Archangel Michael, thank you. The Tower. Okay. Yep. The Tower. The Devil. Oh, my MD. Oh, yeah. One more. Magician. And then the Autumn Equinox. Yeah. Okay. Excellent, guys. So. Yeah, you're being asked in the near future. I'm sorry to say, but you're being asked to give yourself more time. That's what this is saying. Give yourself more time. Because if you look at this now, you're becoming single, but it's like you're going from one frying pan into another. Relationship, from one relationship to another. You don't want it to be a rebound. You certainly don't want this Queen of Wands to feel like you're just on the rebound because you're single now. So that's what this is all about. You were self-sabotaging, okay? Back in the day. She's going to remember this, okay? This is, even though you've grown and you've done what you've done and paid your karma off and all that sort of stuff to move forward, you still have somebody who's got a memory to deal with. Doesn't that make sense? She's going to remember all of this about you. So what the divine is saying with all these cards, and I'll go through them right away, but with all these cards, summary says, and this is what Archangel Michael wanted me to see, is that although you are grown and whatnot, she sees you this way. So it's time for you to take things slower. And I do realize before I started, which one was it? I think it's the Eight of Cups. There was the Nine of, I should have brought it out, but the Knight of Coins right here. Okay, which is moving slowly, but diligently and plodding along, not being too hasty or impulsive at all. You will make your mark. The Knight of Coins is the slowest moving energy in the deck and the slowest moving knight of all four of them. So you're going to make your mark because the turtle always does, wins the race, right? So it's not a matter of rushing in and trying to get her to see it your way now. It's a matter of giving her time. But what the divine wants you to know is that it's always going to be so much more fortuitous to you, right? Fortuitous to you if you take your time with this with yourself. Meaning you get yourself elevated and strongly standing powerfully in the higher energy of the king, and maybe even, tapping into your emperor energies, that you will manifest the timing. This is autumn equinox for the northern hemisphere. It's a few months. Make long-term plans, express gratitude, yet just be grateful that you're in a position, Nine of Coins, to be able to not be in that lower energy anymore, that you're elevated yourself. You're a King of Coins, and now you were a King of Hearts back in the day. You need to regain that again, because you would have lost some of your compassion and caring kindness after being with somebody who wasn't like that for you. But you were like that with her, okay? That's the point. You were like that with her, but you were also playing her, because although you had developed some kind of strong emotion for her, although you did, you still could not commit to her. You were in the Knight of Wands energy. You were being a daredevil. You were a reckless show-off. Just being impulsive and taking people for a ride kind of thing, because that was a karmic energy. That's karmic energy. That's energy that builds up karma. Okay, that makes sense. So then you had to find the strength and the courage, which you did, to leave these behaviors behind. That's why the strength card is out here. Strength and courage to move forward, okay? To overcome your obstacles, which is the same as the bridge card, overcoming your obstacles. You overcame them. You finished sitting on the fence over here and you said, I got to leave this behind. And you're also thinking about her, thinking, if I'm going to reap what it is I really want to sow, which is with her, being at the same level now, I really need to consider my own behaviors, making sure that I am solid where I'm standing now with the Hierophant, okay? Having put you weren't clear, you were imbalanced, and you put that all behind you so that you can move into calmer waters in your life. That's emotional calmer waters, by the way, okay? Even though it's swords, it's like the water is the emotions. The sword is you being able to know it and express it, right? Be more calmer in your interactions, your engagements with people. So yeah, excuse me. So you knew to let that go, and that you did. And now you're to know to move slowly. Expectation, have patience and wait. Have patience and wait. What does this say here? It says persistence, patient. It says, yeah, being loyal and slow. This knight can be trusted. This one cannot. The Knight of Wands can't. Okay, so then you have this Knight of Cups. This is where you are like, you want to drop your anchor so that you're nice and steady on your emotions with somebody that you see is the one that you want to drop your anchor with by expressing this sincere, devoted cup of love, I love you, expression to her. This is you finding the light within, which is a year or more of tying up your loose ends. You may need, really even right now, need more time, especially if this has to talk about getting divorced, more time yet to tie up those loose ends before you can really validate your feelings, the Knight of Cups, towards who it is you want to be with. I hope you're following this. And so you need more time in hibernation, really. You need to have a slow down time, a slow, like, of just like the blanket of snow over the land. The land is now asleep, right? It's not really. I mean, it's building up. It's breaking things down to make the soil and everything more fertile, so that when it comes time for those seeds that had been sitting dormant under the snow and the soil that the trees and plants put there during the fall, the wind blowing seeds and stuff around, that's when it's going to become, you're going to become, be able to grow and be prosperous, is when the snow melts. Right now, it's not the time for that. So you'll be releasing your fears and anxieties and hearing and trusting your intuition during this time. That was the waning moon. You're gaining more wisdom right here in your present time, because this is the waning moon is like going from the full moon, the cycle, up to the new moon. And then there's the new moon to the full moon, and that's a time of actually growth and stuff. This is like taking action, growing, doing whatever. But during this time, it's like the winter months, okay? And the Nine of Coins, that's you in the near future becoming single. Being single and ready to mingle. But if you're ready to mingle, make sure that you don't tap or fall back into your toxic ways of dealing with the situation if you were presented with a tower. Now, and also it's saying, if you don't want a tower moment, then you need to really seriously take this seriously. Like, pay attention to this that's cropping up in your mind, those old thoughts that you might have kind of operated from before, like, okay, she's not looking, so I'll just take this now. you know, and she'll never miss it. You know, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just a simple one, right? But that's the idea, is that you just have like, okay, I know this is what I want. I'm going to, you know, but my wife's not going to go for it because she wants me to hang around the house today, but I really want to go fishing. So you're going to come up with like, honey, there's nothing in the fridge for supper tonight, for dinner tonight. And I'll go to the supermarket and get something. And when you're out, you go for a quick fishing off the bridge that's nearby your house or whatever, and you come back with the fish. Maybe you took a paper bag or some wax paper that she didn't see you take, and you wrapped it up looking like it came from, and maybe wrote with a marker on it that it was like $1 something a pound, kilogram. Yeah, so you want to manifest a different way of behaving, and this is you're going to do this so that you can have those, you know, long-term plans, experience those long-term plans. Preparing for change, manifesting a change, okay, in the next few months. In the next few months, that's what it says. Manifesting change in you. And when you manifest changes in your thoughts, that then those changes start calling on those different layers of emotions that you might not have ever really experienced before, because you really didn't have those kinds of thoughts before. You have a new perspective now, especially when you let go of your manipulative, devilish, deceptive ways. Okay? Sabotaging, jealousy, there's that sabotaging, being jealous, trying to get more for you by taking from somebody else, even if it's your wife. Yeah, when she's not looking, you take another great big piece of chocolate cake. And she turns around and says, where'd that chocolate cake? Wait a minute, how come that chocolate cake looks a lot smaller than it did a minute ago? I don't know, honey. I mean, it looks the same to me. So you see what I'm saying here? Yes, you need more time, is what the Archangel Michael is saying right here. This is you. Just take more time, okay? Just take more time for yourself. Get to know yourself better, knowing what kind of thoughts. Like, really, I mean, I had to do this. I had to really actually start looking at my everyday regular thoughts. So I sit there watching TV or a movie or something, and I might have this thought that kind of bubbles up into my conscious mind, and I go, and because I'm on the mission of waking up and changing my life experience from the inside out, starting with my thoughts. I became aware of what I was thinking, and that is definitely a trick, and it's not easy to do, but it can be done. And that's why I feel the way and live the life I live now. Take action. So do that, right? Take action, because it's unlikely that you'll need to wait any longer. So this is what Archangel Michael is saying right here, is take action now. Don't wait. Don't wait for, this is in the near future. Don't wait now. Don't wait for you to start looking at your devilish behaviors and thoughts that might create a tower moment where she says, I don't think so. I think you're still like probably the same kind of person, that you really haven't changed. You know, you don't want her to be shutting the door in your face. That's what I'm saying. You want to manifest a new way and a new beginning in your life with someone new. Even though she's not new, must she be new to you? Now they say, you go to Sally Ann or the Salvation Army, right? Oh yeah, I bought a sweater at Sally Ann. Yeah, well, that's someone else's sweater that you just bought. But it's like, well, whatever. It's new to me. Yeah, of course it is. So, great. Let's see if Archangel Michael. So you won't have to wait if you take action now. It's unlikely that you're going to have to wait any much longer than... No, so you won't have to wait. It's unlikely that you'll have to wait. And no, there's perfect timing. Meaning that I said it's unlikely that you'll have to wait, and Archangel Michael replied with, no, It's not likely that you'll have to wait if you take action now, because there's perfect timing, and this is what the when is about. Perfect timing. So let yourself do the work. That 8 of Coins card, which is what I said I see this as. Let yourself focus on you, do the work, the internal work. Rely on your God within to help guide you and direct you giving you an opportunity, maybe through prayer and meditation, or just sitting there in reflection, giving you an idea, a different idea. Okay, you're thinking this way. What about, did you ever think of it this way? You know, the divine can put these thoughts in your mind because you're listening. Follow your heart and everything just falls into place. You do work on yourself. That's all you ever have to do. All you ever have to do to see the prosperity and abundance I talked about here in every department of your life. All you ever have to do, all anyone ever has to do, is actually put the focus in, turn inward, and do the work on yourself. Stop doing the work on the outside. You know, okay, I'm getting rid of you, you go away. That's, you know, okay, so now I'm not going to have that kind of personality in my life, which is great. You might need to do that, right? Or I'm going to throw these shoes away because I'm not going to walk in those shoes anymore, you know, because that'd be the old way of walking. That's great too. Or I'm going to move, or I'm going to get a different job. That's all your external stuff, okay? External. You cannot really affect much with the external world, but you sure can. You can affect your external work, your external experience, your environment, so like 100% when you go inward and change your inner environment. Make sense? Hope so. Hope this was helpful to you. We'll see you tomorrow, collective. Bye for now.